Android Developer Relations Office Hours. I'm Sparky from Munich, Germany, and I'm joined by my colleagues Matt and Nick and Rich in London, UK. Matt
in
with
Downton
Google
Abbey,
TV.
if you all believe Rito Myers this week.
Rito's
So
going
we
big
have-
for his boots, isn't he?
We have Richard, the Earl of Geek You Updom,
Yeah, my
and
clothes
the
today.
Dowager Countess Matt.
Hi. My clothes today are brought to you by the Dutch Android User Group, who always do someone else Australian, and the Berlin G-Tug Steampunk on the back. Nick bought to us by Christmas, I think.
Yes, by Christmas jumper.
Christmas jumper. And Matt by...
I'm doing a Superman-style Google-esque
I
feel.
was going to say Matt and I are in uniform today, so.
Someone had to be Matt too.
Sorry, Sparky, we hijacked your beautiful intro. Carry on.
No. That was far more interesting than just having me say the usual thing. So anyway, welcome everybody. This is Android Developer Relations Office Hours. We're here to talk to you about anything related to Android application development. Usual disclaimers apply, which Rich will be happy to deliver. Basically, we generally restrict ourselves to SDK-related issues. We don't talk about deep internals. We don't talk about unreleased products or future plans. But apart from that, we're happy to basically see what you're interested in, talk about what you're interested in. I see we're already joined in the Hangout by several people. We've got some folks who have contributed questions in the moderator. Hi, Andrew.
Hey.
And Andrew has a camera because his girlfriend, wife isn't watching X Factor today.
I can't see myself though.
Interesting.
Right.
I've always heard putting YouTube live stream on at the same time works quite well. If you want to be 10 seconds behind the rest of us. Who's joined us on the far right hand side?
Yossi.
Oh, Yossi, there we are, hiding behind his
Yossi here.
Yossi.
I see he got the memo about the facial hair.
Yeah, excellent. November starting soon.
Join the club.
So we have Alan, Andy, or Andrew, and Yossi all with us in the Hangout today. Mainly sporting lower thirds. Ubu. Good quality camera from Ubu.
Yeah. So what's on your mind, everybody? Who has something that you'd like to share with us, or want to have a question you want to ask?
I've got something I'd like to share.
Go, Rich, go.
Yeah, cheers, dude. People from the UK specifically may have noticed the T3 awards that went past recently, but the Nexus 7 Tablet of the Year, in fact, was it Gadget of the Year?
It won both categories. It beat out the iPad 3 for Tablet of the Year, and it won the overall, the big category, the Gadget of the Year as
Gadget
well.
of the Year is the Nexus 7, so we've been having a few little parties around the Google office here to celebrate that. Thank you very much to T3.
The little tablet that could.
Could and did.
Good.
Oh. I have to say, I mean, it is a marvelous device. The Nexus 7 is basically my go-to Android device. I mean, I'll use my phone if I'm out and about because I don't generally bring the tablet. I mean, I'll even bring my Nexus 7 with me, but it's in my bag. The phone is in my pocket. But anywhere that I'm within range of Wi-Fi, the Nexus 7 is the device I want to use.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
Agreed. So for developers out there, if you haven't started looking at your apps and if it's running well, if it's optimized for the screen size and so on, then now's a good time.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me. Isn't this week Tablet Week? Shouldn't we be talking a whole lot about tablets today?
Did we go a bit early last week?
Oh, I missed it.
For a week and then realize that.
Hey, how you doing?
Just muting, and we'll say hello through sign language.
Now, last week while you guys were talking tablets, I was out there celebrating Deutschen Einheit. It's a national holiday here in Germany last week.
We were jumping the gun on tablets. Have you joined us today because you've got some questions, Leslie? Or you just come along to hang out?
Just to hang out and see what's happening.
Well, nice to see you.
Yeah. Welcome to the Hangout. I see that also Richard Thompson has just jumped on. Hello, Richard. Do you have anything you want to talk about? Maybe I'll give you a moment to get yourself established.
Yeah, give them a chance.
Okay, so yeah, this is a point. Anyone in the Hangout can jump in and ask a question before we hit the moderator, if anyone has anything they'd like to discuss.
Yoshi is showing off some rather fancy Android
Was that a Series 3?
Spotting guy.
No guys, that's two, but I just wanted to show you our
It's a cocktail bar up top.
and also
Nice. You've redecorated your entire office to be Android.
Thanks, Al. Hey, cool, nice digs.
Good work. Yes.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I like it. I like that.
I'm
Thanks,
sure
guys.
that enhances your ability to do Android development. I'll stop thinking.
Just to finish off, what we're talking about tablets as well. I think the reason we've declared this week Tablet Week isn't arbitrary, but, but it's also mostly to celebrate the new quality guidelines we just released. So it's a series of kind of checks you can do to make sure your application is going to look stellar on larger devices. So hopefully you guys have all seen the blog post on android-developers.blogspot.com. And seen the checklist and gone through that and had a look at your apps and kind of seen, do they make good use of the white space? Are they going to scale? Are they going to be available on all devices which might have different hardware configurations? So that's kind of what catalyzed this week's kind of theme. And Richard in the sidebar asks, will there be Google TV quality guidelines? I'm going to...
So we've got a
Break it
load
down
of documentation on Google TV design guidelines over at developers.google.com/TV. So yeah, we've got a whole load of stuff there about making the experience cinematic and accounting for the fact that you're not really going sort of, the interaction is more social. It's less of a one-to-one kind of thing where people are usually using a personal device. So yeah, go check that out. Lots of info there.
So less of a checklist, more of a kind of a document style.
Yeah, it's much more kind of along the lines of like the new design stuff that Android went through, where it's more of going through the different sort of design paths you follow and other aspects. So yeah.
Has anyone on the in the Hangout had a chance to have a look at the tablet quality guidelines yet? Anyone?
Not yet.
Yeah, I've had a quick look through them. It looks cool.
Does it look useful? Is it the kind of thing you can see yourself running through?
It's definitely, the checklist definitely something I'm going to run through with every app, because it's one of those things, you make assumptions about stuff, you get caught up in the design, and then you sit there and think, oh, I've forgotten something fundamental. So it's really useful to, especially that checklist is really useful to have.
Yeah, I find especially when you're developing, like you tend to like develop like on device perhaps, and you might get into a single device mindset where you're going through debug cycles, trying to like get this piece of functionality working and ship it, and you sometimes don't think about the breadth of stuff out there. So I think having this simple checklist is really helpful. So I hope you guys do too. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, then ping Android developers or one of us, and we can suggest it. Everyone's getting their lower thirds on. Look at this.
Yeah. That's just so fun.
Cool. So, are there any live questions in the Hangout or any other news that people want to share before we kind of jump into the moderator?
Google TV getting play. It's getting native play.
Yes. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I know. It's been long awaiting. So yeah, Google TV finally get native play, which you can finally rent and buy movies and play it straight to Google TV, which is fantastic. We're waiting for a long
So, any changes for developers? Anything like any different intent filters or whatever they can use now that they couldn't before, or anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of. We get subscription billing with the native Play Store, so when that comes in, that's one that I think a lot of people have been wanting for a little while.
Cool.
So yeah, that's a good one that's coming in.
So you have in-app billing right now, and that's going to...
Yeah, so at the moment we've just got in-app billing, no subscription, but that's going to come now.
That's another product launch last night, in fact. Free trials for subscriptions, if anyone thought that. If you have a subscription-based product with the recurring a free period to kind of get the users hooked. Oh, let's chat down the sidebar.
Yeah, so Leslie asks a question on the sidebar. He says, how many companies are using the accessibility framework? And I just sort of snippily replied, all the good ones.
Well, yeah, we certainly have recommended many times in the past that people should at least put the content description on all of their XML tags so accessibility works. But in terms of using the entire accessibility framework, I don't have a metric on that.
No, I haven't got any stats. I do know that Wolfram posted a good article on this lately, so if anyone reads Grokking Android blog, it's a great technical blog. He recently did a very good post covering off how you would add accessibility support to your app. So I recommend that article.
Well, the actual question is, who uses it for anything other than the simple content description? I mean, we use it extensively. I'm a bit disillusioned to how powerful it really is, to why people are using it. I think, Richard, are you at DroidCon this month?
Excuse me, got a bit of a cough going on.
Which one? Joy-Con UK?
DroidCon UK?
UK,
yes.
Yeah. When we get there, I'll give you an insight to what we use in the framework for, and then you understand the question in context as such.
It's a question which context will come 3 weeks later.
Yeah. Well, remind me when you're there.
And I'll see if I can dig out anything relevant for you at that point as well. Then I'll see you at DroidCon. DroidCon UK. I guess Al will be there as well.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Oh, Nick.
Yep, I'll be there.
Hey, Chris. See you pop in there, and Matt as well.
Yep.
There'll be quite a few of us at DroidCon UK. Okay, shall we jump into the moderator then? Whilst people can hang out and formulate their next question.
Let's do that.
Who's who?
First question from Chris in London. Is there a reason why Google does not release updates and new Android versions for all interested developers with Nexus 7 and Galaxy Nexus devices right away outside the long OTA cycle without having to root their device, etc.? Well, of course there's a reason. He says it would be. He goes on to say it would be convenient to have an option under developer options where you opt into the latest releases immediately rather than waiting for your turn in the OTA, sort of phased rollout. He says, yeah, it's only basically a developer thing. Not a lot of people necessarily be using it. I actually think that's a great idea, and I liked it so much that I opened a ticket in our issue tracking system saying we should do this. So I don't know that you would save a lot of time because we don't really waste a lot of time between code freeze and OTA. Or perhaps maybe the other way to turn around is to say sometimes we have a schedule-driven deployment and we code right up into the last possible minute. But
plus, as soon as we do a release, so we normally release the recovery images, right? So you could grab one of those and flash it yourself.
Yeah.
Or as soon as it hits OTA, I'm pretty sure you can find the link to download
People
it.
get the links, and you don't need to root your devices to apply the official signed patches anyway.
yeah.
Chris? Was this you, Chris Baines, or is it a different Chris in London?
Wasn't me.
Fair enough.
There's more than one Chris.
It says Chris in London, and that happens to be a Chris. Could have been the same. Clearly not. And of course, there's some delay sometimes in the OTAs if certain carriers require approval before we apply patches to devices on their network.
Yep, so advice to developers, buy straight from play.google.com, then you don't have a carrier in between the OTA servers and your device.
Use reference code DevRel EMEA.
Right. But yeah, so the gist of the ticket that I opened was I suggested that basically people who opt into this should be able to jump to the head of the queue in the phased rollout rather than waiting a few days. That way, if you have an app that maybe breaks on the new release, you can fix it ASAP rather than having to wait a couple of days for your turn to get the ROM.
The trouble with that is, wouldn't everyone just go, yeah, I'm a developer?
I was just thinking that maybe it has to be like in the pub site or something like that, so you have to be in
right. Yeah, maybe enroll a device through the developer console or something like that.
Yeah, that's got it.
Download link through the Play console, and you can just grab the firmware and apply it.
Yeah.
If you're a developer, you're going to be happy enough doing that, I'm sure. Yeah, still all good ideas.
One of the ways I read that is, are they looking for a version between releases? So instead of waiting for a 4.10 to 4.11 or 4.0 to 4.1, whether they're looking for something between those two.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we did for the first time with Jelly Bean, right? We kind of had the developer preview. It was out there for a while, so you could run it in the emulator and you could get to know the new APIs before we went to a shipping ROM, which was shipping on devices in the final 4.1 image, right? So I think that seems to be the direction we're going in. But I'd like to see us do it earlier if we can. But don't make these decisions.
Excellent. Okay. Well, seeing as no one's shouting, should we jump to the next question in the moderator? We've got quite a few to get through today.
Let's jump to the next question. Martin in Brighton, UK says, I know it's still a fair few months away, but Java 8 is on the horizon. Okay. Al gave a very good answer to that. Al, do you wanted to reprise for us what you said?
Sure. Basically, Google is, you guys can't answer forward-looking statements about product development, but one of the things with Lambda expressions is they need a change in the virtual machine, which came in Java 7. and the Dalvik virtual machine, which Android uses, isn't equivalent to a Java virtual machine, so you can't exactly say that a version of Java would be the same as the bytecode available in a version of the Dalvik virtual machine. So there would probably be some work to implement the functionality needed in the Dalvik virtual machine, and as yet that doesn't seem to have started to happen. So it may happen, but it's not going to be for a while yet, would be pretty much the gist of the answer.
Interesting.
Right. And so the short version of Al's answer is we're still using Java 1.6 as our target environment, our target API level.
Yeah, pretty much.
What else is in Java 8? I mean, I miss my lambdas so much. I used to use lambdas a lot. What else is in 8? There's not a lot in 7, right? There's the diamond operator, and that's about it.
There's a lot of stuff underneath the hood in 7. There's it's dynamic invoke, I think, is the bytecode that got introduced in Java 7, which allows support for non-Java languages to be compiled down.
Yeah, like JRuby and so on.
Exactly, and it's that which is needed to get Lambda expression sorted as well. So I think a lot of the 7 was underneath the hood, but
it's also it's Project Coin. So that was the whole revamp of some of the language. So stuff like you can use switch, like strings in switch statements and stuff like that. I think that was pushed back from 7 to 8.
That's right.
But I can't remember. So yeah.
I was wondering though, because a lot of this stuff like lambdas is often like syntactical sugar, isn't it? It's often stuff that might not have lower down changes. It might just be like a pre-processor step or something. But I know nothing about this.
Yeah, I mean, you can achieve pretty much the same stuff with using listener classes and interfaces, and that's the whole thing that Lambda expressions are being sort of touted as replacing.
Yeah.
So there's no absolute need for them, but it's one of those things, the less keys you type, the happier developers are.
Yeah, less code to maintain, less boilerplate, easier to read samples. I think lambdas are great. I used to use them a lot, but yeah, I'd like to see them.
But no comment. Okay.
Well, I don't know if it wasn't
no.
if and when they're coming. But
any more for any more? Anything in the chat? Anything in the Google Plus thread? Is anyone doing that?
Oh, no.
You had it, and now I've lost it.
I'll grab it.
Who's going to get there first?
I'm there.
Maybe while we're talking Google Plus, I'll read the next moderator question. Igor in Lviv, great city where my previous employer before Google had an engineering team, says, have you heard of Android annotations, transfuse, squares, dagger, links included? These are annotation-based compile time code generation tools. What do we think of these? I mentioned a few more, RoboJuice, GreenDAO, OrmLite. I think they're all perfectly fine. The problem basically is that every time you introduce any kind of an abstraction layer on top of an API, it has the potential to simplify matters as long as you stay within it. But when you start integrating with the native other features of the system, sometimes it may not integrate quite so smoothly. So I think they're all good ideas, and I think it's maybe worth a little bit of time investigating and see if it works for your use case. Nothing against them. It's just a matter of is the benefit that you gain from it worth the potential inconvenience of fitting it in together with the rest of the system.
100% agree with Sparky. One other thing I'd add to that is the reason I quite like the annotation-based ones is they tend to be at compile time kind of stuff rather than looking at runtime things. So if you're looking at something like RoboJuice, for example, which offers great functionality, but you're going to take a hit at runtime using the reflection and so on. So I think that's one of the advantages why I'd probably look into something like Dagger or Android annotations instead of the runtime ones, just because performance is such a consideration on mobile. My 2 cents.
So,
any other comments? No?
Well, is it Sparky mentioned OrmLite? I mean that's a runtime one, so that's runtime annotations. There's another one called GreenDAO, whereas that's compile time, but it's more work in it. So I'm just agreeing.
Yeah. My problem with these things is they tend to be awesome when you know how to use them. Like if you're the developer of the the project or something and you know it inside out, it's like, look how easy it is. I could just like annotate this one annotation and just a billion things. But I find them like quite hard to learn, quite hard to pick up unless you have that whole surface area of knowledge about what it is. And I find it can be hard to debug sometimes if you don't know when stuff, especially with dependency injection, if you don't know when stuff is getting created, instantiated, and where it's coming from. If you have a distributed team and someone's trying to come in and debug an issue, then it can make it more complicated. So those are my only concerns around these frameworks. Like if you have just a not standard, but an Android developer who's coming in and might not have experience, then it could put them off. But otherwise, I think they do have tons of benefits.
Yeah.
I'll also add, just for the sake of adding it, that Green DAO comes from Munich, Germany. So, go Munich.
Go. We've got another question in the Google Plus and another question in the chat. So Leslie asks in the chat when we'll be able to add our own channels. Maybe referring to, where's Leslie? You're referring to Google Play Store? Yes, you can nod, it's fine.
No, well, the problem with Google TV is that I'd really like it to be able to control my V Plus box and stuff like that. And I know what the frequencies are, I just want to add them, but without rooting the device, I can't get to a channel list.
Okay, so
over to Matt.
So at the moment you can't access the channel list in Europe. We're working to bring that over here because over in the US it's a lot easier to get that data for the channels that you have access to. When you start going internationally, it depends on which country you're in. There's a couple of weird little quirks, like people in Germany, they can change the order of their channels, which then upsets our data, etc. So basically we're trying to find a nice reliable way to actually give you access to that information. But some of the stuff you were talking about just then, it reminded me of an API that we announced at Google I/O called the Media Devices API, where you can then essentially pretend to be a set-top box or sort of create a driver for an actual set-top box, and then you can start communicating between the two. So that's going to come with a later version of Google TV, which we don't have a date for yet, but hopefully it won't be too long. So yeah, sort of answers your question, I hope.
Yeah, sort of. Will the Logitech get that upgrade though?
I believe the Logitech review will. I believe.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Logitech.
Cool.
So in the comment thread, Jan is asking about a layout guide for Nexus 7 in landscape and 10.1 tablets in landscape. What do you want to know about?
We're saying, can you use the same layout? Can I use the same for tablets 10.1 and the Nexus 7?
The answer is it depends. It depends what you're trying to lay out. Like, this is why we always say work with a designer, because there is no magic law that says a layout that works on a phone will work on a 7 or work on a 7. What works on a 7 will work on a 10. There's nothing like that. It really depends on your content. So what I always end up doing when I'm trying to, like, say, mock-up screens for Android Design in Action, you might start with the phone layout and you might see what it looks like on 10. It might be too empty, it might be too dense. It really is like a kind of a gut feeling thing. You end up kind of trying on different size layouts until you get the right amount of spacing, the right kind of density of information. So there's no magic law. You kind of have to look at it and decide. And in fact, if you look at the Nexus 7, the system apps that ship with it, some of them use the UI which would ship on a phone, and some of them use the tablet UI. So People application, for example, uses the tablet-based UI, and it uses the space nicely with like 2 column views and so on. But some of the applications, like Google Play Music, for example, uses the phone UI. It's a decision made by each kind of application, depending on the information they're trying to show and just how well it works in that given amount of space. So there is no answer to this. It's a try it, have a look, see if it works. If not, you might need to hint things, you might need to change something, you might need to add more space, bigger text sizes, something like that. So there's no hard and fast rule.
And the Nexus 7 falls into the SW600 DP bucket in the layouts as well. So you're going to have your 10-inch tablet, you can put in the SW720s, your Nexus 7 in the SW600s, and if you want the same layouts, you can either just get rid of the shortest width 720 folder, and it will just pick up the same as the 7-inch. But you can very easily distinguish between phone, 7-inch, and 10-inch tablets, and decide what goes in each one just by testing it and what's best.
I found it quite interesting as well that the Nexus 7 originally, the launcher was locked in portrait mode, and the latest release of Jelly Bean, which is out and about, now allows you to do the wonderful thing of having the launcher in landscape as well. So I guess it really is just Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
I could do it
that
on
was
mine
just a
too.
matter of just wanting to get it right.
Yeah. So it just goes to show that there's a lot of experimentation that you need to do before you get things that you enjoy.
Yes.
One thing that I've noticed recently is I've been a little bit surprised that even now, I mean, we're what, a year and a half after Honeycomb, there a lot of apps, especially games, like even on a 10-inch tablet, to just scale up the phone UI, and I think it's in particular for games, it's more of a problem even than some of the others. I mean, yes, they don't have the problem with huge amounts of white space because they're using OpenGL and scaling everything proportionally. But some of these games use gestures where the amount that you travel on screen matters, and it can actually be significantly harder to play the same game on a tablet because you have to move your finger that much faster in the same amount, or that much further in the same amount of time. I'm thinking of games like Flight Control or Flick Golf or something like that, where you train your muscles to work on a certain screen size, and then you switch to a tablet, and all of a sudden everything's different. And there's like a real fatigue factor that comes into dragging those airplanes all the way across the 10-inch screen.
It's interesting that in the tablet app quality checklist, sort of 3 or 4 of the points all go across the same thing you've just been saying, Sparky, like using fonts and touch targets and assets that are designed for that kind of size of screen. So hopefully it's something that the checklist will help reinforce for people.
Yeah. The good news is it can be a bit scary because you think about this continuous range of device sizes out there. So if you think about, do I have to hit my layouts and make a layout that works great on a 4-inch phone, a 5-inch phone, a 7-inch tablet, an 8.9-inch tablet. Like, good thing about this is there's actually kind of a discrete number of switching points at the moment. We kind of see a lot of the stuff kind of settling around 4, 7, and 10 is kind of like commonplaces, and that the variations around there are not so huge that you can use a layout that works on like a 7-inch tablet will probably work on someone's random 8-inch tablet. So the way the system works, if you use these SW qualifiers for your layouts, then they'll get picked up by the ones slightly larger as well. So it's not actually tons and tons of stuff you do, but just by providing slightly, like you say, bigger touch targets or slightly bigger font sizes, for example, on like a 7-inch tablet, it can make a world of difference.
Right. So another bit of tablet wisdom is that, say going back to the game model, you don't have to necessarily scale up your game to fill the whole screen. You can have a fragment that varies its size only a certain amount, and then on the larger screens just put more or less ancillary information around on the sides of it.
Yeah.
Indeed. We answered that one.
Watch last night's Android design in action, which covers.
This is the topic we covered yesterday on.
There's a whole half hour on it.
Yeah, giving a few techniques you can use to design around this issue.
And it was great that you guys were looking at the IO app, which is completely open source, so you can just go in and grab the source and copy whatever's been done in that wonderful piece of software.
Yeah, the new templates in the Android templates that we create new projects in Eclipse. Very good at dealing with this as well.
And Jan has joined us. Hello. Did that answer your question? You're muted. Or not talking.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh.
Yes. Thank you.
Excellent. You got into the Hangout.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us.
Okay. Let's jump to the next one in the moderator.
Right then. Yeah, this is Jan's question in the moderator. Jan, do you want to ask your question? I don't see. Okay.
You can lip sync.
Right. Okay. So right here, Jan in the Hangout is asking, is it a good approach to include in-app purchasing to remove ads versus within one APK versus maintaining 2 applications, one with and one without? And I said it's a great idea to use in-application purchasing to remove ads, and provided the developer.android link for a little more information. since you can make it a managed purchase, you can query the server anytime and find out whether whether that user has purchased the right to have the whatever unlocked ad-free premium pro version of the app. I think there's significant benefit in not maintaining two different APKs. To a certain extent, you're exposing your app potentially to a little more risk in that the code that queries the license server or the in-app purchasing server is another attack surface. But I really don't think it opens you up any more than just having a separate pro version of the APK where somebody can just redistribute that. So I think that without a lot of extra headaches involved, you can really save yourself some trouble just by not maintaining two different APKs for the same application.
And two more points I'd add to that is first, sorry Chris, firstly it's a smoother UX, so there's not the jumping out to hit I want to go pro and you have to then install a new app and it's like, wait, what, now I have two apps installed, do I have to uninstall an app? And also any settings or configuration they may have done gets carried over because it is the same application, they don't have to configure anything again. So that's a lot smoother. And secondly, I'd say that all your reviews and comments will be centralized in one place. So that might be a good or bad thing. You quite often find that people who've bought an app will generally trend higher on your rating because they've paid money for it. They tend to to justify that to themselves, I think. Maybe that's just my idea. But yeah, I think having them all in one place is probably a better thing.
It's also quite interesting. Oh, sorry, Chris, go for it, mate.
No, I was just saying. I mean, I did this with Friendcaster. I had this before in-app purchasing was even available. So I had two separate ones, a free and a pro, and I used to spend a good 10-15% of my time merging code across because you'd have to do it in one code base and then copy it across. And what you'd find is you wouldn't copy it across correctly, so you'd have to spend time fixing layouts and stuff. So in the end,
before library projects.
Pardon?
Was that before library projects or?
Yeah. So once library projects come out, then I could start moving core code into that and then sharing it. But it still took time. So yeah, I'd always go now one APK. And the other thing is that because you'll have the free versions of your listing, people will be more inclined to download it because it's not a paid app. Mm-hmm. So and then they can then do the in-app purchase if they want to. So I'd always go that way now.
Yeah, that was one of the interesting things from I/O is that there was some discussion around monetizing app, and all of the data seemed to point to having an in-app purchase as being a better way and a more consistent way of getting users to buy your app, and it tends to result in more purchases than trying to get them to download a separate APK and pay for that separately.
Just devil's advocate as a slight counterpoint though, I'd say some people just hate in-app purchases. You'll see comments in the market saying they're trying to nickel and dime me for everything, blah blah blah, and some people are just much happier paying a one-up price up front. I'm not saying this is many users or most users. So some people just don't like that. And the second point is that having a paid app lets you participate in some kind of sales and promotion. So for example, our recent 25 billion promotion was where we put a bunch of applications on sale. If you only had a free application, then that wouldn't have been available to you. So not saying these are great reasons, but perhaps you might have both available. So a free version with in-app to perhaps remove the adverts, or a premium version or whatever that is just all in-app purchases already included in the upfront costs, for example, for those people who just really hate it. It's up to you. It depends on who you're going for and what the market is and so on. But
yeah, I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of user experience on the developer side, because I think it was Yohani pointed out an application that basically was a free application, but the moment you ran it said buy coins, and you couldn't do anything without making an in-app purchase, and that's a straight turn off for users. It's got to be a bit more subtle. I hate
those.
His one wasn't the only one that he found. Then I guess there are a few out there, but it has the Sparky response, and people just turn off straight away. So trying to force people down an in-app purchase as a way around a paid app seems to be more of a quick way to annoy the user than to get sales.
Crappy thing to do.
So the applications that say you get 10 moves, and if you send us a couple bucks, we'll give you another 100. I hate those. But the apps that say, you can unlock the first 10 levels of this puzzle game for free, and then pay us a couple bucks and we'll give you the next 100 levels, and you can You can play as much or as little as you like. We're not metering your play. We're just giving you access to the whole thing. Those I love.
Yeah, and I think for me, like one of the coolest ones I've seen is the timed offer. So something like Wind Up Night, which lets you play through the first 10 levels or something like that, and then it says, hey, one time only offer, unlock the rest of this game for this one price, we won't be offered again, kind of thing. I think that kind of taps into the human psyche of wanting a bargain, right? Like you got just one chance to buy it. I thought that was pretty clever, and I think the developers came on to the show in the US and said that one item was the bulk of their revenue, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The other good thing, App Store as well. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, I was just going to say quickly, the other good thing about the in-app billing stuff is if you make a purchase on one device, it'll unlock it for all your other devices as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Boy, I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah,
I mean, talk about saving your download trouble.
Yeah, you can have it everywhere, and you're going to have the free install everywhere.
Reinstall, yeah.
And then you have to go back and reinstall the new one, yeah.
Good point. Chris, you were saying something as well?
I'm saying that with the App Store, I mean, I can't remember seeing it, but with the App Store on iOS, you can actually see what the in-app purchases are before you download something, whereas I can't remember that on Google Play. I could be wrong, but no.
Interesting.
You can see it needs the in-app billing permission, so you can tell that there'll be in-app payments in there somewhere.
True, but if you download it and see there's an in-app purchase for playing rest of game or something, then you know it's going to be dodgy.
Play whole of game.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things around that, because one of the things I've seen done in the iOS store is some of the in-app purchases makes no sense until you start using the application itself. Like I think there's an application that converts photos into cartoons, and there are things like the Splat in-app purchase and the Blam in-app purchase, which you kind of sit there and thinking, do I really need to buy this to put the word Blam on screen? It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I'm not sure I see the value in that.
I could see the value in it if you make it cheap enough. I mean, it needs to be below the threshold where I'll just say, oh, what the heck, for one photo I'm willing to spend 10 cents, click.
No, I can see the value in that purchase. I don't see the value in listing them up front when it's completely out of context.
Oh, okay, sorry.
One of the ones I quite like is a German games producer we know who has the ads and there's a little X next to it to dismiss them, and that launches the in-app purchase, which is an interesting implementation. I think we've done that one to death.
Yeah. Does anyone live in the Hangout want to bring up something of interest to them before we go back to the moderator? Or were there questions in the Google Plus stream that we haven't gotten to yet?
There's one for Google TV.
Hi.
There's one from Matt in the comments of the Google Plus post.
Yeah, got another question there.
Let's take a live question.
Yes. It's not a question, but a feature request. I like it to include the feature graphic by culture, by language.
Sorry, say that again. I missed that.
Feature graphic. On my application by culture, because
I'd like to localize the feature graphic. Got it.
Yes, today is
I'd like that as well. It's on the team's list of stuff to do.
It is crazy right now, right? You can localize all the descriptions, but if you want to localize the great big graphic that everyone sees,
and screenshots and
screenshots, all that stuff, you have to do multiple listings and target them to countries. So that's
it's very, very much on the radar. It's just when it gets shipped. We hear you. We hear you.
Okay.
Sorry, did you want to go for the question for Matt in the comments? Shall I read it?
Yeah, go for it.
So, someone's trying to get their comic app with in-app billing working on Google TV. They have the Sony box, and I always get stuck at the billing process, authorizing purchase. After 30 seconds, his application stops responding.
So I've actually replied to the Stack Overflow question with a blog post. So essentially, because we don't support subscription billing, the Dungeons and Subscriptions sample doesn't work as is. It needs a little bit of tweaking to change the API version number, as well as some of the extra variables that you add in. So payment type, you don't do that, because otherwise the API starts having some problems. So you need to do that. And plus, when I started doing this, I had a couple of issues with just the Google Play service and making it work, so I had to leave it for a little while, which I admit is a bit of a poor thing, but I did essentially have one bit of code, left it for a day, came back, and then it just started working as it should do.
Yeah, that happens to me too.
And I think it was just propagation of the items that you're adding to Google Play and making sure that it works and authenticates, etc. So check out the blog post, go through all of that, get that working with your items, and then hopefully you should be able to figure out what's going wrong.
Yeah, all the standard things apply. Don't test it with the same account you uploaded the app to the Play Store, because you can't buy things from yourselves. There's a list of 5 things that you just need to check when you're testing in-app billing in the testing in-app billing document.
Yeah, documentation is ridiculously useful. So yeah, still do check that. It's just the sample just needs some differences, which is what my blog post is focusing on.
Okay. There's a question in the G Plus as well. Robert's asking why in the 4.12 update for 7-inch tablets, why is search bar anchored on the landscape but optional in portrait? None of us here know the answer. I'm going to speculate here that it's a UX decision, that in landscape you have so much less vertical space that you don't really want as many anchored items. I'm going to guess at that being the reason, but I don't know for sure.
I don't believe it's actually a widget in landscape mode.
No, it's part of the home screen, right?
Yeah, whereas in portrait mode it's actually a widget that seems to be used.
Is it? I don't think it is. I think it's part of the... You can't pick it up or anything.
I can't move those. I was slightly confused by this question.
Everyone's just staring at their 7-inch tablets.
Can anyone replicate this?
So,
no, I think it's. I don't think it is a widget. I think it's part of the home screen.
I think it's part of the launcher. Yeah.
I think so too. I mean, I don't think it's like when you drag a new widget onto the screen. It seems to me like that search box is out of the accessible space.
Can you move it around on yours?
Yeah, and when you drag an icon around, yeah, it disappears to make room for the app info and the delete and whatnot. I don't think it's actually part of the home screen like workspace, as it were. I think it's kind of decoration around it.
Yeah, I can't actually drag mine around. I was just a bit confused when he said anchored in landscape but optional in portrait.
Yeah, I couldn't replicate it.
I read that as it's kind of always there in portrait, but when you go to landscape, you just have the Google Now and the voice action, so voice search buttons, right?
Right. Yeah.
If you had a vertical text bar.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd have to anyway.
Yeah. So basically, I'm saying,
UI,
you wouldn't ever have like a vertical search box because that would look crazy. Probably wouldn't, and so I would like postulate that they didn't want to have another reserved area of space in already limited amount of room when you're in landscape. Would be my guess.
Concur. Excellent.
I think that's a really good guess.
Why, thank you.
Since you mentioned Google Now, this is kind of a random riff occurs to me. I'm curious to know who here brings up Google Now by accident more often than on purpose. Because I know
especially in games.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Going back to that flight control again, dragging those little airplanes around the screen.
Yeah.
I can suggest one solution if you have that problem with your Nexus 7, put it in a case, because it's really hard to bring it up at all once it's in a case.
Is that the official Google answer?
Of course it is, Chris.
That's one of the downsides of those cheap third-party cases. You get the official Asus one, and it leaves you enough screen space to get the swipe from the bottom working.
Really? Mine was £5 from Amazon. It certainly doesn't.
Yeah, this was 25 quid from PC World.
It does have a magnet in it, though.
Nope, you pay 25 quid and you don't even get the close magnet.
I've got a smart cover-esque one, which is like an actual, it flaps over and stuff. It's pretty good. It's like a tenner.
I've got one of those as well for my Samsung tab.
What, for the Nexus 7, Chris?
Yeah.
I think my next purchase from Amazon is going to be some sellotape and a magnet.
How are we getting on the moderator questions?
Yeah, how are we getting on moderator questions?
I'm
So we must be
just taking a look.
We've got 15 minutes left.
Okay. Andre in Czech Republic wants to know, is there a way how to correctly detect if a tablet has a mobile a friend's 3G interface? I need to hide or display some features based on that. Feature telephony and connectivity manager get all network info aren't reliable enough. I don't know. I think Al had the best answer to that one.
I was kind of confused because he's saying feature telephony isn't reliable enough, and I was wondering whether he is already using package manager.has system feature to detect whether it's on the device.
I'm wondering if maybe he just means it's not precise enough.
Right. Because there are
Well, he's put an
sub-features
extra
of
comment
that.
at the bottom, yeah? Thanks for your responses, but unfortunately there are some tablets that don't report featured telephony as one of the system features. I imagine things like
Wi-Fi only devices.
No, Galaxy Tab 10.1 may have 3G but no telephony because it doesn't. You can't make phone calls.
Right. But the feature should be says that the device has a telephony radio with data communication support, which to me would indicate it should be present if it's just got a data modem on it. It doesn't necessarily need to have a voice codec as well to handle calls.
Interesting. Yeah, I can't remember if you put requires telephony in the manifest whether it would appear for a 3G tab or not. I thought it didn't.
I don't know, but I do think maybe there's some potential in this telephony manager get network type, which should tell you like exactly what kind of radio you're talking to at the moment.
But that's what's on at the moment, not what's available, right?
Leslie's saying querying the SIM is a good way to go.
Querying the SIM.
Which class would you use to do that, Leslie? Just put it in the sidebar if you want. Give him a. I'll read out the URL.
Yeah, you've got to actually use the SIM tools libraries to do it. We had this problem in HTC where if you've got a SIM that supports 2G but doesn't support 3G, it caused a bit of confusion. We had to actually query directly. I'll actually see if I can find the on HTC devices the custom API that we used.
Wow.
There is in Telephony Manager a get subscriber ID, which is supposed to return an IMSI number. I would guess if there's no 3G or no telephony component, then you wouldn't get an IMSI back. I think you get null back in that situation.
I've seen custom ROMs that do return IMSI or even fake data just to pass some tests on the telephony manager. So I'll try to do some try and catch over there and not fall on the false data.
Yeah.
I don't know, we've kind of had a similar question last week. It comes down to why are you trying to do that exactly? Like, because I guess the main thing you want to do is like work out, do you have a data connection, right? Which you can use get connected cmanager.getActiveConnection.is connected is pretty much your major check.
A setting which said, say it was Uvu and they wanted to allow calls over 3G. You wouldn't want that setting there at all if you didn't have a 3G device. But if you did have 3G, you'd want that checkbox to be there or not. It could make sense to have a...
I don't know, I think that's up to the user.
Yeah, it's up to the user to be able to say, I don't want to allow calls over 3G, but incoming calls or I don't think it's 3G and Wi-Fi only.
But you only want to show the option when you have 3G as an actual option to take away.
Yeah.
But you can set that really if you're on cellular or if you're on Wi-Fi. You just can't tell the difference between 2G and 3G.
You can fine if you're on the...
You can tell if you're on 2G, 3G.
If you're not on it at the time, you still want the setting to appear to say, I don't want to.
You've forgotten one thing, guys.
Yeah?
The sharing competence of certain OEMs in this country will allow you to connect to a 3G network but not use it. I won't mention any names, they drive me insane. So what that means is that you might not have a 3G subscription, but it will allow you to connect to a 3G network, so you've got 3G but you can't actually send any data out.
There's also another issue which makes the whole thing a bit unreliable is the use of MiFi devices. So if I've got a Wi-Fi tablet and I'm connecting it to my portable hotspot on the phone in my pocket, the tablet thinks it's got a Wi-Fi connection, but the actual end connection is a 3G cellular one. That's how I got around the iPlayer's original restriction of only allowing streaming on Wi-Fi, was just to use a MiFi device, do some tethering between the tablet and the MiFi device, and then you get around any restrictions. Although it may be possible, it's not a good thing to rely on, would be my view.
Yeah, I can see why they have the use case. It would be nice if there was something. I would still use feature telephony myself, and if people haven't implemented it correctly, then so be it. But you want to know whether even if you haven't got a SIM card in there, you want to know if the hardware supports that capability. And I would go for the feature telephony. It's got to be the...
And I suppose if it's a quality of user experience issue, say maybe, you know, if you can't pull 1 megabit, you don't want to offer video or something like that, just do a little performance test at runtime.
Yeah.
You can do all that. Well, when you're connected, you know what network you're connected on. It's just you don't know which networks are necessarily available to you.
The performance test would be the best way to go, definitely, because of Wi-Fi situations like I/O.
Yeah, and definitely like think about not making it a setting as well. Think about just doing a test and like warning, like saying signal strength looks weak. Are you sure you want to do a video call or whatever it might be? Like
Yeah, that's what we do.
just making it a setting isn't always the answer.
Read Rito's blog post on magic boxes as well. What's the problem with network info.get subtype? Maybe you have to be connected to that network at the time. I don't know. We'll move off it.
Yeah.
He has said he's using network empty status. Have we got any more in the moderator?
We do. We have a couple more.
Questions from Andrew Kelly in there.
Andrew Kelly, yes, indeed, about ViewPager and a list of pages. Andrew, do you want to ask?
Yeah, essentially, well, I've got an app that I'm writing for a client at the moment, and they've got a list view that goes into a view pager kind of mode when they want to drill down into the details of the list. So in the list view, I want to show all the items available, but in the sort of the detail mode, when I'm in the view pager, I want to skip over items that don't have any further details. So I was just trying to work out if there's a way of skipping the fourth element of the array without actually having to create a new array with that fourth element missing.
Yeah, well, that's in your adapter, right? In the get item method. So
yeah, so I've got my get count returns a fewer number of a lower value based on how many rows there are. Yeah. But get item still gets called for the placeholders that I don't want to, the ones that I want to skip over. So if I want to skip over element number 4, get item still gets called for element 4.
You're always going to get past like monotonically increasing position numbers, but I think you're going to have to maintain your own mapping from position to the real item index in your data.
Yeah. It sounds like you get item. You just need to, for each time, you need to iterate from the start and count until you find X number of items which don't have info or do have info, whatever.
Yeah.
I wanted to try and avoid the constantly looping through the array again and again and again to work out where I was.
Can't you just do that once? Can't you do so the first item is index 1, the second item is index 4, the third item is index 5? Or
maybe use a hash map only once, and then you'll have all the indexes you need to the items with the details. And then when you'll use the get item, then you'll just need to verify that you have the index in your hash map of some sort.
Well, you could even, if you putting it into a hash map, you could then get the entry set back and iterate over the entry set.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, you can just run through it once. Are we talking about an enormous list here, though? Is it something you need to be really?
No, it's 20 at most. So.
Yeah, I just run through it, to be honest. Pre-process.
Yeah.
Is there the possibility for some of the items to change? So could item number 2 be populated and then later down the line item 2 not be populated?
Not without going all the way back out and then all the way back in through the original kind of summary list.
It sounds like I'd take the hit and do it once, process it once, and then have this some kind of hash map or something.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, just create a array or something.
Yeah, I thought it might be a handy sort of is enabled kind of true or false kind of method that I could just call for the ones that I want to skip over.
No, I mean you have full control of your adapter. It wouldn't pass the adapter and then ignore it. It would be self-service, sorry.
That's right.
Or you could extend ViewPager and make your own implementation that
ignoring item ViewPager.
Yeah.
Returns an item and sends it.
Yeah. The reason that I pointed to the Sherlock demo that's out there on code.google.com is because the ViewPager implementation on that little sample app basically, although ViewPager is sequential, it basically just pokes a random access value into the tab manager, and so because it's mashing up ViewPager and tabs together, and so it's kind of a way to jump from your sequential access of the ViewPager into the random access, and all you have to do is intervene at that point to tell it which page or tab to show.
Yeah, you could do it so that when you got to item number 4, it auto-scrolled on. You'd scroll to 4, and then it would automatically just move onwards because it's an empty item. least the user would know that they've gone past item 4. This page is intentionally left blank. Something. No, but I think
Don't do that.
No, that wasn't a recommendation by any stretch. I would definitely go with what we said before.
5 minutes ago.
Can we squeeze in the last? How many have we got left in the moderator, Sparky, to get in the next 4 minutes?
4 more.
4 more in 4 minutes. Go!
Where in the source code can I find the 4.1 lock screen? Google it.
Do you really?
I read also that the developer.android.com documentation is part of AOSP. I assume so. I mean, we put the AOSP copyright in our sample code and stuff.
It is. I'll put a link to the location in the notes.
Yeah, and I think the lock screen is called the key guard. So if you grep code for key guard, I think is the thing you're looking for.
Sounds right to me. +1.
Next muffin.
Can I retrieve data from Google Maps API so that I can use it for my location-based service? Yes, use the Google Maps API. Developers.google.com/maps.
Next muffin.
I have a device with only Ethernet connection. How can I find if device is really connected to the network? Try to push some traffic through.
Connectivity manager.getAccessNetwork.is connected. Next.
Try and connect to Google's web page.
No, is connected will do that, right? Is connected is like the blue, you know how your Wi-Fi turns blue when there's really bits flowing. I'm pretty sure it's based on the same logic.
And this sort of code features prominently, I believe, in Rito's blog article about writing battery-friendly apps. So, yeah, you search for it on developer.android.com. We've got blog articles and Google I/O talks that all touch on this. Is anybody aware of how Android handles daylight savings time changes? It does. Also, but even if it didn't, I mean, generally speaking, you want your device to get its time of day from either your phone network or NTP. And in either of those cases, you know, they're smart enough to know about daylight savings time, and when it happens, then your device will notice that it's out of sync and it'll reset itself.
But they are also asking which part of the source code deals with this, so it looks like they want to pull something out and reuse maybe.
I think that's actually...
Time is hard.
Yeah, I think that's actually handled by a lot of the lower level Linux stuff that's underneath Android.
I wouldn't be too surprised. Java deals with it pretty well.
Yeah, maybe no. Java does it horribly. Look at like Joda time or something like that, perhaps.
Don't use Joda time. It's massive.
I seem to remember in the run-up to Jelly Bean, for a little while we actually had a bug where the NTP fallback wasn't working right.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Android actually has a utility class which re-implements getting the number of milliseconds from the epoch, because it's so unreliable in certain parts of Java. So.
What's that in system.getCurrentMillis millis or?
Nanotime, isn't it? You need.
There's a I can dig out the method, but there's actually an Android version of system.getCurrentTime in millis which is used for key events. And you can pick that out, and it basically does the same thing, but I'm guessing it's there because there's some discrepancies about how it gets reported through.
There was an interesting article I read about the 3 or 4 different ways you can get the current time. I think the most accurate one was the one from the kernel, which is exposed out for a native pinvote you can do. I can't remember. I'll try and dig it out.
And with that...
Are we done?
I think we are done.
That's it for the moderator.
Tablets! Yeah, we were going to say tablet 10 times because we didn't say it enough in the last hour.
Time, that's it.
Beetlejuice.
Damn it.
Any last minute questions from the Hangout?
Yeah, just a little question about the subscription and trial periods.
Yeah.
If I want to do an app to offer a trial period, but it's not basically a subscription app. Say you want to do like a snooze button or a silent button widget, and instead of doing it into a paid app or something like that, can I offer it on a trial version with some sort of subscription?
The only thing, if you're not using subscriptions, the only option would be to do in-app billing and then pop up a dialogue after 30 days, or however long you wanted the free period to be. Subscriptions is the only part of Google Play that offers a free trial period for you. And for that free trial, you have to sign up to the subscription, you have to have the valid payment details in place, and then at the first billing cycle is complete, it will start charging you. Yeah.
Cool. Right. I think that's all we had
If
time
you want
for.
to see more Androids on our offices,
It's a sweet offer, but
We'll close up with a tour of the Uvu office.
Hey, how about that?
All right.
and over there we have.
There's an apple. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's a debating room. You know, everybody's fighting, so we're doing some.
Fun. Nice.
Cool office, dude. Thank you all very much for joining us today. We will be back again next week. We'll be there.
Yep, so hopefully maybe see some people watching in DevFest Berlin this weekend. Matt, you're going to be in Paris tomorrow speaking to the wonderful Porg.
Paris on Friday, yep. Berlin on Saturday.
Don't forget there's some great shows on Friday. There's the App Clinic and the Friday Games Review. And join us next Tuesday for Android Design in Action, or see you all next week, next Wednesday, hopefully, for more office hours.
and there's Rato's one breath attempt to read everything that's going on in Android in the week.
Funny these days.
I swear last week he was offering badges.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.